Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Today is Wednesday, January 16th, and this is our Team Prosperity meeting. Really excited for this year. It's been a tremendous, huge, explosive beginning of the year, and I'm really hoping that we can keep up the momentum and keep it going all year long. It's a great and exciting time, and I hope that your business is exploding just like ours. And, we're here to help you in any way that we can, so please don't hesitate to let us know how we can help you. I've put together a few slides that I wanted to go over today, and really, to me, it was important to go over some of the things that have come up this week that have really helped me personally. So I want to talk a little bit about that. A big part of what we've been talking about, some of the trainings that we've been on, have talked about our crusade and, why we're expanding and why we're growing and why we're building this business. And really what we're doing is we're spreading financial literacy. We're educating people about how money works, and we're doing a great service for others. Spreading financial literacy. So the way that we do that is we offer a free, no obligation financial needs analysis to everyone, no matter their situation. We're helping people understand basic concepts like the emergency fund, the law of compound interest, the rule of 72, etc. And then we also help people with more complicated concepts and strategies. And of course, if needed, we can always bring in a specialist, like a senior consultant specifically for that area of expertise. The other thing that I really wanted to talk about, this is kind of a long slide, but this was a video that Mike posted last week, and out of all the stuff, all the tremendously great stuff that he posts, this really kind of hit home for me. So I listened to it a few times, I actually took notes, and today I transferred the notes over, and I wanted to talk to you all about this because on a personal level, this has helped me a lot this week, and I'm hoping that it can help, some of you as well. And if you can just take one or two things off of this list to help you, build your business and become more efficient, that would be amazing. And number one is time is life. So every single minute is valuable. Time is our most valuable asset. So just make sure that you're spending your time wisely. And I've been trying to catch myself all week thinking, is this a good use of my time? Is this a good use of my time? And a lot of the time I find out that it's not. So I'm trying to, make every single minute count. And number two is do your most important tasks first and in the morning. And this is another thing that I can really learn because I'm good at all of the little admin things, but sometimes the most important tasks don't get done. So we want to make sure that we're doing those tasks in the morning and just getting them off the to-do list. Like Bill Mitchell, the CEO of WealthWave, says he blocks out from 9 to 12 every single day to make phone calls. Those are his most important tasks of the day. And afternoon, he does all of the other tasks. So that's just an example of one successful person that's using this strategy. Number three was live from your calendar, not a to-do list. This is something that I need to learn as well. The idea is the calendar is going to allow a time for those items to be done. If you're moving something from a to-do list to a to-do list, it's not that urgent. So we definitely want to live from a calendar, not a to-do list. Now, you're not going to help having a list of things that you need to do, but if you can schedule those things and get them done, that will be a better use of your time. Number four was meet your future self. I love this. Fight back against your bad habits. I know in the video, the guy used the example of if you're making excuses for yourself, I don't want to get dressed into my workout clothes, go to bed in your workout clothes, wake up, put on your shoes, go work out. So try to get in front of your excuses and get the things done that you need to get done. Number five, there's always more to do. Allocate time for personal and family. So, your list always goes. Every single day there's new to-do items. There's things that weren't done from the day before. That's never going to stop. So allocate time to yourself, to your family, to your personal care, because you're a machine. You got to make sure that you're resting. You're feeding yourself. You're exercising. That you take care of yourself first before you take care of anything else. It's just like when you're flying in a plane and you want to put on your mask before you put on anybody else's. That's the same kind of an idea. Number 6, carry a notebook to process information. They were saying that some of the most brilliant minds, they always have a notebook because ideas come to you in different times of the day, at night sometimes. So if you could carry a notebook to process information, you're really going to be able to get a lot of your ideas and thoughts and things on a piece of paper and let yourself, build them into your calendar and be more effective that way. Number 7, and I've got to practice this one, see if I can do it. Shut off email notifications and process emails at a certain time of the day. Because, you got to realize that those emails are other people's MITs or other people's most important tasks. So if you're stopping everything that you're doing to check an email, you're not going to get anything done throughout the day. So if you could just find, certain times of the day to check your email. Maybe you're only going to check your email once every hour or once every 3 hours or 3 times a day. And that way you can, have time for those most important tasks. Number 8, say no to long meetings. That's kind of a given. You don't want to take out too much time for meetings. And number 9, say no to anything that doesn't support your immediate goals. So if you're getting something out of a meeting, like if you feel like you're getting a lot out of this meeting, definitely keep doing that. But long meetings, meeting to meeting might not be the best use of your time. So just make sure that you actually have day-to-day activity in there as well. And like I said, number 9, say no to anything that doesn't support your immediate goals. That kind of makes sense too, stay on track. Number 10, the Pareto principle, it's the 80-20 rule. And I swear by this. It's always 80% of your results come from 20% of your activity. So that's really, really important. Focus on those 20%, that's important, and really make sure that you get that done every single day. Number 11, focus on your strengths and passions. Delegate the other tasks. So we have a tier system. You have managers. We have consultants. So everybody kind of already is doing this, but this is really important as well. One person can't do everything. They can't be great at everything. It's impossible. So focus on your strengths and delegate the other tasks. Batch your work with recurring themes. This was kind of an interesting one. You should have focus days, buffer days, and free days. So this is just all about keeping a good calendar, and I think that's really important. Number 13, I put a little star next to this because out of all 15 things, I feel like this is the one that I have applied the most this week. I really feel like I've gotten a ton out of this number 13. If you could do it under 5 minutes, do it now. Touch it once, right? There's no point to put something on a to-do list that's only going to take 5 minutes. So look at your to-do list today. If it's only 5 minutes, just get it done. Get it off your to-do list. If it's, going to take longer than 5 minutes, calendar it. Schedule it on your calendar. That way it gets done if it's really important. Number 14, mornings are your time to invest in yourself. Statistically, you're like the sharpest those first few hours that you wake up. Your brain can absorb the most information. So take some time, plan out your day, get organized, invest the time in yourself because that's going to help you, be that well-oiled machine throughout the day and get everything done that you need. Energy and focus versus time is the last one. They talk a lot about, the 8 to 5 hour workday. It's ludicrous to think that no matter what your job is, that all jobs have to run from an 8 to 5. We're virtual, so we know that that's not true. It could take less time than that. It could take more time than that. So put your energy and focus on the actual tasks at hand to get them done versus the allotted time, okay, it's 5 o'clock, I'm going to stop, and I'm not going to look at this until, tomorrow. So this personally, these important points have really, really helped me, and I hope that they could help you as well. And then the last thing that I wanted to bring up, of course, is the WealthWave Convention at the end of this month. I hope to see you all there. Me and Mike will be there, and I know that a bunch of you on this call will be there as well. So can't wait to see you all. The ones that I haven't met before, can't wait to meet you and shake your hand and spend a few days with you. And that's really everything that I have for today. Can't wait to see what Mike has in store for us. I'm sure that it's a great presentation. So give me just 1 second. Let me go ahead and grab him, and I'll be right back.
Middle of January already, you guys. I hope everybody's year's off to a good start. Remember, January, 1.8 points, or there's a 1.8 multiplier to every point. So if you get business in this month, whether you're working on senior vice president, rolling 90-day, whether you're working on base shop bonus programs, whatever you're working on, take advantage of the next couple of weeks, try to get some business in to get those points multipliers. February and March also have point multipliers, but it's gradually reduced. Let's talk a little bit today about some things that have come up and that you guys should be knowing going into ending Q1 over the next coming weeks. Number one, our basketball tournament started. So if you are not familiar with that, you know, it's a basketball tournament where you get points for direct partner hires, where you get points for standard and fast track exchanges that you accept. So it's about direct to business so everybody can participate with each other. Here it's early on, but here's what we got. You know, Mike and Alana, Sherry, Wade, David, Tanya, Brad, David, Colwell, all on the board. So we'll keep track of this, continue to post in the Facebook group. It's just something to have a little fun, take the monotony out of the build out of this business, kind of switch things up a little bit. This came up, this comes up a lot, guys, and I just want you to understand that if somebody is securities license 6, 63.7, whatever it might be, we do have a place for them in the WealthWave side of the business, but you need to understand from a compliance platform standpoint, it's different than multiple insurance opportunities. If somebody has a securities license, then if they have no active book of business, that's a go. It's clear from our side. If they have an active book of business that they're looking to move, clear to go from our side. If they have an active book of business they do not want to move, it's going to cause compliance issues with dual broker dealers. So securities license, active book of business that they don't want to move, that's going to be a no-go for our side. So you don't want to get caught up in too long of a conversation if one of these obstacles comes up very quickly. Just kind of let them, you know, understand from a platform perspective or standpoint, it's a compliance issue to have dual broker dealers. On the insurance side, no big deal. We marry multiple opportunities all the time. So who's going to sit at the top of the profit chain? You guys need to understand where our business sits because, of course, it's the tiny, innovative companies by virtue of their immense competitive advantage and being so well entrenched within their market represent the very top of the profit food chain. Just like in nature, you have the top of the food chain. In business, you have the top of the profit food chain. And those companies, over time, no asset class, none, has rewarded investors better. Not common stocks, not bonds, not real estate, not gold, not old masters paintings, not collectibles. There's nothing. The way that you invest into this is through your time, and that's very important. We have a great opportunity to disrupt a very large industry and put a lot of market share on the move, which creates a tidal wave of money following that as well. So just remember where you are, the time, the place, the company, the industry, it's a go. It doesn't matter what you're looking at. These are two different examples. This is a 45, almost 50-year period that shows how horses were replaced by tractors on U.S. farms. Over to the right-hand side, in a very compressed time frame, you have the Netflix blockbuster comparison, you know, traditional to streaming. And you can see right here that in 2008, you know, Jim Keyes says neither Redbox nor Netflix are even on the radar screen in terms of competition. Well, where is that? It's right there. I think he was just a little bit wrong. So as you're out in the open marketplace, people have been in the industry for a while, people don't understand what we're doing, don't believe that it'll work. Those are the masses. They're always wrong. They will be proved wrong again here today. You're looking for the people who share your vision, have a work ethic, and a motivation to get this done. The naysayers, the non-believers, will prove them wrong. You don't want to waste too much time. Disruption comes quick, and when it hits, boy, does it hit in a big way. And that would be the equivalent on the other side over here of how it looked in the other example. You know, Airbnb. Airbnb compared to Marriott. Marriott's 88 years to build almost 700,000 rooms in 80 countries. Airbnb, under their platform, took 4 years to amass 650,000 rooms in 192 countries. So digital transformation is real. Digital disruption is real, which leads to a lot of innovation. And we always talk about this. Innovation is the key that unlocks new value. That's what we're doing. And that's exactly what this says. Innovation is a process. It's not a product. It's an old way versus a new way. Very stark differences in the way that we approach the business, the marketplace, versus what a traditional model or company does. And that's going to put a lot of market share and money on the move. Very easy for me, I'm sure it's very easy for you guys as you come in to understand what we're doing. To the outside marketplace, if they don't understand how digital transformation, digital disruption can affect the way that these agencies are built, operate, and managed, don't have a lot of time to talk to them. I'm looking for the people who understand, who want to be part of this, and have the work ethic and skill set and work history to back it up. I mean, you've got the internet, you've got agency building model. This is an explosive opportunity. There's not a lot of middle ground. People either see this or they don't. I want to talk to people who see this. Remember, you define the business problem. What is the business problem inside this industry? Well, it's that the distribution of financial services is on the decline due to the fact that the distribution model or the approach to the end client is old, stale, stagnant, and very tired. So we've created a solution for that. Does it work? Yes. We proved the innovation. We proved the marketplace will accept the innovation. Now all you have to do is go out and take that market share. So join our team. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for talent. We're looking for always headhunting people that we think will fit into a profile of who we can bring in and be successful. And by them finding their own individual success, it fuels our success, organizational growth, company growth, and the domination that we're trying to achieve in this marketplace. I put this up, a while back. We've looked at it several times. If you're new, this is a partner persona. You need to identify first and foremost who you're going after, because when you know what you want, it's a lot easier to look for that in the marketplace. So what type of background are we looking for? What are some identifiers that we want to see? What are some goals that they have? What are some challenges they're seeing individually or generationally, or any other problems that are in the marketplace that they're currently running into as far as roadblocks or obstacles? The demographics, who am I looking for? How do they spend their time and their interests? When you understand and build, just like, if you go out and try to date somebody, you're looking for a specific type of person. You may not know about that person in the beginning, but after you date several people, you're going to know what you're not looking for. Same thing here. That's why the CEO 10 Club is basically the learning curve in this company, because at that point, you've had enough conversations, you've hired 10 people, you know what works, what doesn't work, and how to go forward, best spend your time to bring in the people that you're looking for. This was an announcement on the platform this week. There's a new $4 million ring earner, Rocky and Miranda Shih. Don't know these people, never met them, never talked to them, but I can tell you they're on their traditional platform. Don't know how long it took them to get here, but this is a $1 trillion industry, $1 billion platform, lots of money on the move. You can do what their traditional model took 20 or 25 years to do in a matter of 48 to 60 months. So understand the time and the place that you're at, understand the opportunity that you have, and understand people still in the traditional model making a ton of money. We just want to come in and disrupt that way and get to those goals or those income objectives a lot quicker. So it's the right opportunity, it's here, and the right income opportunity is here. And that's really what it's about, because sometimes you have the income opportunity, but the opportunity itself is going to take away. Maybe you've always got to be at the office, you've always got to travel. So this allows you to combine the right opportunity with the right income opportunity. It's just really about getting to work, being effective in time management, organization, those simple things that you can do that will help your entire life will really help your business life as well. We go through this time and time and time again. I don't mean to drill it into you guys' heads, but if somebody doesn't understand how the cash flow quadrant works and they can't wrap their head around how to get from point A to B, it's going to be a problem. Because if you're an employee, you don't understand how to move through the quadrant, you're self-employed and you think you're a business owner, these are things that we're going to try to help people understand how to get to where they need to go. But if they can't break the mentality of a W-2 employee, they can't break the mentality of a self-employed producer, it's going to be problematic, because we are looking to build business owners across this country through a system that creates a lot of wealth that you actually have an exit strategy. So we don't want to have a job. We don't want to own a job. We want to own a business that fuels a lot of passive income that leads to the last piece of the quadrant, which is investment. A lot of people come in, a lot of people out there, period, guys, they're struggling financially. They don't have deep pockets. An advantage of this platform is the fact that you don't have to have deep pockets. You're going to have to make an investment, but it's time. And no matter if you're rich or poor, time is the most important investment that you can make. Remember, my poor dad said he can't invest because he doesn't have any money. My rich dad said invest your time when you have no money. If you put in some sweat equity, some grit into this business and give your efforts time to compound, you really have no point of resistance for scalability. You can grow a huge business here. And when you're out there, we always talk about having, intellectual, influential conversations about, our business. Really, the 6 things that I hold in my conversations that I try to market with are the 6 big advantages up here. The market advantage, social media advantage, the compensation advantage, the administrative advantage, systems advantage, and the technology advantage. Those big 6 things are really tied together to give you a core group of advantages that are really powerful. So you want to understand the advantages. Don't get too far off with all the small advantages. You can go on for days and days and days about all the advantages that we have. Stick to the big ones. And don't forget, when we talk about compensation, we talk about administrative, when we talk about platform, you compare a lot of the other, IMOs, FMOs, whoever it might be in the industry, this is what they look like. This is what our platform looks like. So you've got, an IMO out there that might not be able to handle a string of chargebacks. It may put them under. Here, you don't have to worry about, am I going to get paid? You don't have to worry about, the company going out of business, anything like that. This is a huge platform, billion-dollar platform, and it crushes the industry in terms of the size, the amount paid out, what we have to back it up, the 300 help desk employees, IT team of 117, contracting, commission, compliance, legal department. Guys, this is ready to run on both sides, the digital side as well as the platform side, for hyper exponential growth. Also, when you are talking to people, and also for your own education, you need to understand the power of the assembly line, because you've got a lot of people in the traditional model, they're not good at everything, they're going to fail. Here, we gravitate towards what we want to specialize in, but we can also grow with our business. It's a huge part of what we do because, yes, the digital aspect, the virtual aspect, the way that we're changing things is important. But inside the actual model is an assembly line that changes the way business is done as well between us. Allows interaction through the enterprise level CRM. You got a lot of things firing on all cylinders. And normally what I see is a marketer and biter might not be so great at consulting, might not have any skill set to do consulting. Consultant might be a very analytical person, very good at what they do. Maybe they're not so good at marketing. You put these people together with a manager in the middle to make sure people at the right places, the right time, that notes are flowing, business is coming through, then it really works out well for all parties. And now we have a vested interest among the 3 of us, if it's 3 people involved, to make sure that everything's running smoothly. What's going to be easier for somebody? If you look at the financial landscape of this country, people are struggling. We talk about Generation X, the baby boomers, etc. Well, let's take an example here. You've got a guy, 49, getting ready to turn 50 years of age. You run an analysis on him. He wants to replace what he's making right now, basically $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year. Well, of course, that's in today's dollars, compounded at 3% in 16 years. He's about $115,000 a year. In order to fund 20 years of retirement, he's going to need to accumulate over $2 million in the next 16 years, and he's got nothing right now. Leading indicator shows he's not going to be able to do this. So when people look at this opportunity, average age in our company is 59. People are looking at it to repair retirement, build retirement, exceed that standard of living they thought they were going to be locked into for retirement. So when you look at this, what's easier, to do this, which I think this is almost impossible for this particular individual, or can somebody come in, build a business with a lot of seasoned entrepreneurs' help through the assembly line, through the platform, and create $6,000 a month? Well, if I have to place a bet around which one is going to be more feasible, more reachable, it's going to be option B, and he can get option B done in a lot less time than trying to save $2 million over 16 years. So understand the mindset of who you're talking to, the problems they're encountering, what they're looking for. It takes work, but it's definitely something that you can come in and build for yourself or your partners that will get them to their end income goals. And don't forget, if you are out there, we don't want to just pepper somebody with question after question after question after question, but a good conversation is not you just cramming stuff down somebody else's throat. It's about opening a conversation, showing interest in them, asking questions. So these are the kind of questions that you want to get in your mindset. Is the person I'm speaking to on the other end of the phone, are they grasping what I'm telling them? Do they seem excited about the opportunity? There's a lot of tell signs that you can get from interacting with people, getting their response, getting their feedback, getting their answer to the questions that's going to allow you very quickly to profile this person. Is this person somebody that I think has a chance in this business? Do they seem, excited about the opportunity? Those type of things will allow you to make that decision. You want to bring in the right people. It's not an MLM. You don't get paid to bring people in. So you want to bring in the right people, keep out the wrong people, because you don't want to work hard. You want to work smart. If you're bringing in a ton of people that probably didn't pass the litmus test, it's going to be tough for you, your manager, everybody involved. We're going to be working for basically nothing. So you want to make sure people are serious, they understand this, and they've got a good mindset in terms of what it's going to take. This is your 1, 2, 3 approach every day. What are you doing? You're creating a marketing funnel through various aspects of what you do. Social media, warm market, cold market, email marketing, whatever it is. Your marketing funnel right here leads down into your CRM. And your CRM is going to come up with one of 3 outcomes for you. Potential business partner, potential client, neither. So marketing leads to the CRM, and your CRM will have its own set of filters through the follow-up, through what we do, that will identify one of those 3 outcomes. And we don't get too emotional about the outcomes. The outcomes are just the outcomes. We burn through them. We find what we're looking for. Through the process of creating and resolving leads, we're going to find those people that we're looking for. And that's really what this is all about. So you want to explore. You want to explore new opportunities for marketing. You want to explore different types of people. You want to explore in social media, ways to build a bigger audience, engage that audience, influence that audience, and you want to be able to target that audience. In the coming weeks, we're going to talk about some, things that Facebook and LinkedIn has to target your key demographic of who you're looking for and advertise to those people and leave out the other people. The typical activity, you want to grow your audience, engage, grow your brand, and educate yourself. The typical things of having activity, liking, sharing, commenting on things is important, but also, even more important, when people are having that activity on your platforms, on your pages, you need to engage that audience. We talk about this. If somebody makes a comment on one of your posts and you totally ignore them, that would be like going to a cocktail party or a dinner party. Somebody comes right up to your face, asks you a question, and you just totally ignore them. So if people are having activity, trying to engage with you, don't ignore them. That's a good thing. Engagement is the heart of social media. And when we talk about social media, the reason that I really say, hey, start with LinkedIn. If you don't have anything, or if you've got very little, or you don't know how these platforms work, you start with LinkedIn. Let us help you with a profile, but you have to keep educating yourself, keep opening conversations, keep having activity, and you can see top and lead generation by a long shot, LinkedIn. You can create a lot of conversations, a lot of leads off LinkedIn if you do it correctly. And then the other statistic off LinkedIn, you have 11 times better response rate on LinkedIn than any other method that you might try to drive traffic and awareness. So LinkedIn is your go-to spot to start. Once you understand LinkedIn, you're starting to extract value off LinkedIn, then you can go to Facebook, you can go to Twitter, you can go to Instagram, you can go to these other platforms and start to build it out. But if you're looking for an immediate way to create conversations that lead that convert into leads, LinkedIn is definitely the way that you want to go. Doesn't matter what you're doing. This is what I'm trying to do every day for myself, set you guys up for. Whether it's an email campaign, the calls that we make, the ads that we post, the social media, it all leads back to what we were just talking about. Those are your marketing funnels. That leads back to the CRM. You're going to do your task, including direct and managerial, and it's going to lead to those specific outcomes that we were talking about. The learning curve, you can post, you can email, you can message. A lot of the learning curve comes from your time that you spend on the phone. You can't just send out messages and expect to build a business. You've got to put in some phone time because it helps differentiate yourself against a digital marketer that's all they do, but it also gets you to the position where you feel comfortable on that phone and you're starting to be able to answer the questions that people are having. Remember, people have the same questions. Is this real? Can I do it? What type of help am I going to have? The easier it is for you to hop on the phone and start talking to people, the more confidence that's going to give you that you can get on the phone with anybody going forward and having an intellectual conversation about this business model. If you get stuck, easiest way to transition through a phone call, we just listed some questions that you can use. You can also ask questions about, what they're currently doing, what they like, what they don't like, what are the problems they're facing in the marketplace. You get stuck and there's that odd little silence for a minute, ask a question. Don't feel like you need to just keep dump trucking information on people. However, sometimes there's an odd silence when you've actually asked a question. If there is, force the person to answer the question. Don't just take a second of silence to feel like you've got to blurt out something else. If you ask a question, be quiet and let them answer it. It's going to get a lot of the answers that you're looking for by asking the questions. And the tier 1, this is your activity. This is how it's going to dictate the communication. Remember, if you come from a position of power where you are a person that's holding interviews for multiple positions in this company and what this company is doing to this industry, it allows you, by coming from that position of power, to direct people. Instead of asking people to watch videos, instead of asking people if it's okay to follow up, you're going to direct them to watch the video. You're going to direct them to a follow-up date. You're going to direct them that you expect them to be there. The more confidence that you have on the phone, you're going to lead the other party. When you start leading people, all of a sudden you're not asking, you're directing. People are going to fall in line, and it's way easier to resolve these leads. So from the very start, come across from a position of power. And remember, follow-up, we always talk about this. It's going to separate the low earners from the high earners, the small builders from the big builders. You're going to separate yourself from most all the other people out there in every industry, every sector, by just doing follow-up. Most people do not do effective follow-up, and that's why when you do that, you start separating yourself from the crowd. And when you separate yourself from the crowd, you start having more conversations that lead into more outcomes that you're looking for. Fortune's in the follow-up. So be personal, be relevant, entice, call to action. These are all things that you should be doing. If you're leaving a voicemail, sound excited. If you're sending a text, don't make it too long and drawn out. Get right down to the point. If you're sending an email, make it pop, make it stand out. And have a follow-up system. We have one. You guys can create whatever you want. I created a prospect communication schedule that you guys can use pieces of, rewrite, whatever you want. The main point of emphasis here is not to have to think about what you need to do. If I go on my CRM and it says left voicemail, sent text, and email number 6, well, I know the very next thing that I'm going to do if I don't get a hold of them, I'm sending the VIP demo with a VIP demo text. It's easy for me. I don't have to think about what's going on next. It also gives me an endpoint where if they're hiding behind the keyboards, not communicating with me, I've got a certain point where I've done enough, I can go ahead and dump that lead. You want to hit them from all preferred methods of communication, phone, text, email, social media, to get them the information that you need and allow them to respond back in that preferred method of communication. Add value to your approach by being interested and engaging. Once again, we talked about, hold on guys, let me mute us. Okay, so add value to your approach by being interested and engaging. Don't sound half dead on the phone. If you're sounding like you enjoy what you're doing, you're excited about what you're doing, that excitement can be transferred to the other side. Vice versa, if you sound dead, depressed, that also can get transferred to the other side as well. Push people to watch the videos. Somebody says they're interested in learning about what I'm doing, I want you to watch the videos. I'm not pushing you to become a client, not pushing you to become a business partner. On the contrary, I want the videos to do the heavy lifting for me and get some initial feedback. If I'm dumping a lead because of non-communication, because they never watch the videos, it's a failure on my part. If I'm dumping a lead because they're not interested after they watch the videos, great. That's a victory. You create and resolve enough leads, you're going to find the people that you're looking for. We don't rebuttal. We don't explain. We don't try to influence people to come in this company. That's not what we do. File close. I dumped, I think, 11 leads out of my CRM yesterday just because of either it was resolved from my side or I went through the entire process and I wasn't able, after 10 attempts with the communication schedule, to get any type of response back. Dumping leads is a good thing. You want your CRM to be sleek and slim. That way when you go there, you don't have 8 pages of follow-up. You want to be following up with the most important stuff, because if you go to your follow-ups, you got 10 pages, you're going to become overwhelmed. You're like, no, I'll do this tomorrow. And then all of a sudden you got more pages, and all of a sudden you don't even know where to start. So if you do the daily activity, keep your CRM slimmed down to what's most important, you're going to feel like this business is very easy to manage on a day-to-day basis. Serious commitment. We always talk about this. I think a lot of people coming in, they think serious commitment has to do with my time. Well, I'm part-time. I don't have that serious commitment yet. Doesn't matter, full-time, part-time. Serious commitment is about the activity that you put into this business, whether it's 15 minutes or 15 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours. You need to get serious about what you're doing. Track your activity, get people to follow your example, keep up with the activity sheet. So on an individual basis, keep up with your activity. On a team basis, keep up with people. This helps you, and it helps to set a guideline for people coming in as they're watching you. John Smith is doing this. John Smith is doing that. I need to do this because I want to follow John Smith and get where he is currently. So once again, full-time or part-time is not the commitment. The commitment is with that time, what are you doing with it? How effective are you? Are you being accountable? Are you reflecting and trying to improve yourself? The activity sheet, we go through this all the time. Very easy way to see, okay, what did I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? What did I do for the week? Submit it. I give you guys feedback. We can do a master Facebook group sheet. It's just all about to help us create that positive, environment where we're feeding off of each other's, activity. We're feeding off of each other's results. You're feeding off of each other's excitement about going forward. The excitement comes from knowing that I have a game plan, knowing that if I do this today and I do this tomorrow and the next day, that it should get the results that I'm looking for. And then from that point, once I know, it's a lot easier to scale my organization for myself and my business partners, because I've got a turnkey operation that includes activity that I can pass down to my business partners. And the management side, you can't just sign people up and forget about them. Whether it's a small team, mid-sized team, or a large organization, that team tracker helps you and helps us help you. It's really, really easy, trust me guys, to sign people up and forget about them and then 2 weeks later check on them. You can't do that, especially in the first 30, 60, 90 days. You got to have some communication. You got to make sure they understand we're here to help you. Small questions, big questions, it doesn't matter. More screen shares, more help. That's what we're looking for. If they've got questions, they're asking for help in that 30, 60, 90-day period, they're going to get past the learning curve. If you get crickets from their side at silence, that's a problem. And partners, as your partners come in, it's not your job to drag somebody through this business build out, but it is your job as a manager to talk to your partners that are actively working to make it happen. You want to make sure that you are a sounding board for what they need, that you are filling those voids, gaps, and skill sets, time, whatever it might be in the beginning. Eventually, if this is done correct, your partner will have a free-flowing organization with whatever they need. In the beginning, it's our job to supply that. So once again, you're not dragging people. You want to concentrate. Once again, that time as an investment, if you look at it, who am I putting it behind? Does it have a return? Work with the people that are actively working to make this happen. And remember, as you're looking at this circle, business partner is not really a business partner until they complete the tier 6 right over here. We have the upfront filters that try to keep out the people that don't fit into the profile, but inside, once they get in, we also have another set of filters to make sure they're serious, they have effective time management, and they're looking to make this happen. Another point of the tier 6, if they're a business partner at tier 6, then we also want to make sure they understand why are we doing what we're doing. It's not for me, it's not for the manager, it's for the new partner. Because at this tier 6 right here, we are trying to do a few things. We're trying to get them some money coming in their pocket. Now, the CRM, that first launch, is 20 names. Could be, ex-coworkers, ex-business partners, neighbors, whatever it might be. 20 people they want to put in at a base level. If they make nothing out of this, they're going to learn how to use the tier 1 script. They're going to learn how to use the CRM. So it does have value if nothing comes out of it. But if we find a sale, we find a business partner, trust me, they're going to be more encouraged to put even more names in there So the tier 6 is about making your business partner a real business partner. They've completed the circle, trying to get them some upfront income coming in, because what that does, it gains confidence in the business that they've joined, their ability to go out and do this, and it gains excitement from their side as well. So make sure you preface and make sure you outline and frame the conversation. Why are we doing this? It's not for me. It's not for the manager. It's for the business partner. We're trying to make you money. Manager's responsibility to work with that new partner on the tier 6 CRM. So outside of framing it, make sure they understand it, help them get through this process. And commission. You as a manager need to understand a couple of things. Number one, how we get paid through the assembly line, how everybody gets paid, how that's broken down. And you need to understand how to read a statement. Somebody comes to you and you're their manager and they want to read a commission statement because they don't understand how to read it and you can't. It's not going to give them a lot of confidence in coming back to you for another question. So make sure you guys understand how to read a statement, how the assembly line works, how your partners get paid, and once again, how to break down that statement so they understand going forward. Once they've been taught, they don't have to lean on you anymore. And remember the tools right here. As people are coming in, GMass is a great tool to use. Gmail Signature is a great way to make sure people can get more information about you, your business, etc. Social media, we hit these platforms hard. Sniply, the way to use recycled articles into call to actions to create lead generation. Lightshot, how to capture screen shares very easily. Manage Flitter, how to manage a Twitter account, clean up your account, get rid of people that aren't following you, add new connections. Track your email, knowing when a client or a business partner has opened your email helps you greatly in time management. Also Google Docs, create HTML quality emails through the Google Docs series. Google Alerts will allow you to set up keywords. For example, marketing. Once you set up that keyword, they're going to start hitting your inbox every day with marketing articles. So instead of you having to go out and search for an article, now they're coming right back into your inbox. Very easy for reposting. And then social media management tools, save time. We want to automate this the more that we go, but you can't automate something until you understand how it works. That's why we don't recommend doing any of the automation until you actually get through the process of understanding these platforms, how they work, what you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis to make sure that you're building, engaging, influencing that audience. Facebook group, also as a manager, part of your job is to get people into this group. We're not in offices, so we need things to connect us together. The Facebook group is a great way to get to know each other, answer questions, share relevant material, push each other towards common goals, and recognize the ones that are making it happen. Try to get your people in the Facebook group. And then YouTube, whether it's my channel, anybody else's channel, it's a great way to learn, connect, and really put things into motion. So when I'm trying to learn something on YouTube, I can pause it, stop it, go and actually put it into use, come back, start the video again. I've added, 7 or 8 new videos within the last probably week or so, trying to really build this library for you guys and your partners so that you're not having to come every day and to answering a lot of questions from people, the same stuff. You need to know how to do this? Great. Go to Mike's YouTube channel, watch it 8 or 9 times, however you need to watch it 2 o'clock in the morning. It takes away, or it gives you the ability to, foster the business relationships, concentrate on what's important. This will be a huge resource for us going forward. There's a lot on there now. I'll keep adding stuff more and more and more as we go. One of the things I just added yesterday was an hour-and-a-half breakdown of complete Facebook marketing A to Z. That's on there as well now. So all this stuff is just trying to help you guys. The big secret to success, like we always talk about, breaking time frames down, having immediate action, being aggressive. These are all the things that we concentrate on by the day, by the week, by the month, and those days, weeks, and months will start to add up, and all of a sudden you're getting more accomplished than other people in a year. 3-4 times is the possibility with the 12-week year. And that really, with a digital business model that's already compressing time frames, if you can get a time management system going from your side, you're going to be able to build a monster here. A 12-week plan. That's really what we want to teach, is a business model with a personal time management model. The combination of both of those together are very explosive. Each day, you want to review your weekly plan to confirm and adjust. What I found for me is I need to look at something. I need to hold something. If it's on the computer, it doesn't work for me. So what I have every day is a daily printout of the things I need to do for that day. And I check them off as they get done. And by the end of the day, I can see what was done, what wasn't done. If there's still time in the day, I can start to get the rest of that stuff done. And the weekly progress report is just going to let you know, what have I done? How has it worked? Give you a time to reflect on that and get better for the next week. This is a picture I took. This is also something I have. So I have my daily sheet. I also have a whiteboard in my office with my weekly stuff, and I just keep track of that. So each day when I come in, that's the first thing I see. Keep track of it every day. I have my daily sheet. If you're constantly forced to look at things, absorb things, and see what you're doing well and what you're not doing well, it's only going to help you. The WHAM groups. We started our first one last week. The way I ran it, I don't know how the other people ran it. All I did was allow everybody to make introductions and then basically talk about, where they are, what they need help with. Second through the 12th week is more along the lines of, everybody should, have read the book. Everybody should have goals, tactics, be scoring their tactics. That's going to be the best way that we can help the partners. The groups are a little large in the beginning, but trust me, you're going to have people drop out. You're going to have people not finish. You'll have, at the end, your core group of people. In the beginning, it's a little heavy on the attendance, but trust me, it'll work itself out. And then the 30-day challenge. If you're new, been in a row for a while, make yourself a 30-day challenge, because if things start to drift, if there's little to nothing in the CRM, there's no activities on the calendar, there's no tasks to follow up with, doubt starts to creep in. Maybe this isn't the right business for me. Maybe this business model doesn't work. Whatever it might be, your brain loves doubt. It's going to trigger on that and say, oh, yeah, let's quit. So drifting leads to quitting. If you're busy, then you're going to feel like, oh, I've got activity to do every day. I got my calendar starting to have more and more blue on there, meaning activity, and it'll feed on top of itself. So the things that you do, good habits or bad habits, are going to feed on top of themselves. Procrastination is great. It's like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. You can sit around, do nothing, post memes, post articles. They get little to no traction. But if you're procrastinating on the things that are going to build your business, having activity, picking up the phone, having conversations, introducing videos, you're going to find that, the time goes by and all of a sudden you haven't built a whole lot and you get frustrated. That's another thing the 12-week year can do, is make you concentrate on income-producing activities. Today's your day to work hard and be better than you were yesterday. That's all we're looking for. If you can get a little bit better than you were yesterday, you're going to have an experience that compounds and gets better and better, and you can pass that experience down to other people. Last thing I want to do for you guys today is just I went through my 12-week WHAM group and showed them, but I've got some goals that I set forth for myself. I had a social media build out and lead creation, I had a direct partner build out, and direct production involvement. So goal number 1 on the social media build out, this is what I wanted to get accomplished every week. 600 new connections. I wanted to have 3 educational videos about social media. Remember, it's always about activity and education. Schedule and post to the platforms, 14 articles, 14 memes, 3 videos, 3 ads. I want to send 500 direct messages to connections. I want to write 1 blog or LinkedIn article every week, and I want to create 1 YouTube video. Now, goal number 2 for me was 12 direct partners coming in, 1 a week. 1,500 intro marketing emails every week. I wanted to introduce the lead videos to 12 new people every week. I wanted to send out 100 follow-up emails. I wanted to make 300 virtual financial calls. I wanted to send 500 direct messages to connections. Once again, the same up here, same down here. Sometimes they bleed over. Conduct 5 direct ABC calls for myself, 1 new job posting or classified ad, hire 1 direct partner, add 600 new emails to my list, and once again, always educating, 3 educational videos about recruiting. And then finally was my direct production involvement. I want to be directly involved with 4,700 points a week, 5 tier 3s, 5 tier 5s, 2 phase 1 exchanges, direct involvement in 1 client sale, make 100 lead calls, 2 directed client ads, and once again, the 3 educational videos about sales. So that's what I want to see happen on a weekly basis. And then on the weekly plan, this is what I'm happening. Now, I can't fill in this stuff and keep track of it. It's not the way I'm wired. I have a piece of paper, a printout that tells me, like I said, what I need to do each day, and I kind of go through, cross stuff out, get, the numbers, hash marks, whatever you need, to do to make sure you're keeping up with this. One of the biggest problems that you're going to have, if you're not keeping up, all of a sudden this becomes overwhelming and you'll just want to quit. So for last week, sent 525 new connections, 87%. One educational video, 33%. 12 articles, 86%. 11 memes, 78%. One video, 33%. One ad, 33%. 278 direct messages, 56%. I did write the one article, made 100%. YouTube videos, did 5 of those. Now, when you're scoring for your own scores, this is 500%. When you're doing the overall scores for the week, you don't want to go above 100%. So make sure you make that clarification. 12 direct partner build-out. 1,500 email marketing emails, 1,278, 85%. Introduced the videos to 11 people, 92%. 87 out of 100 follow-up emails, 87%. 158 VFG calls, 53%. 278 direct messages to connections, I made a 56%. 4 direct ABC calls, 80%. 1 job posting, 100%. I hired 3 direct partners last week, so it was a good week. That was 300%. I can tell you, out of these 3, 1 guy is already gone. Well, he might come back, but he had a license. He thought he just needed to do some CE credits. It was too long. He had to sit for the test. He decided he doesn't want to do that right now. So once again, guys, you never know what's going to happen. If you concentrate on the activity, trying to be the best person you can as a marketer, manager, and consultant, then the chips are going to fall where they may. So, had a good week there. I did no educational videos about recruiting, so 0% there. Direct production involvement last week, 22% on the points, 60% on the tier 3s, 80% on the tier 5s. 1 exchange made a 50%, no client sales, 20 calls, 20%, and 0 directed client ads and 0 educational videos about sales. As you can see, this section will be something I want to concentrate on this week, and I'm definitely doing that to right, some of the shortcomings that I had in the previous week. And then all I did is add all these up, divide it by the number, and I gave myself a week number 1 score of 57%. You don't have to be in school yesterday to realize 57% is a failing grade. That's an F. And then I made some notes for myself. It was hard to get organized with keeping the data, so I made a daily sheet. I had a problem. I overcame that problem. And now in week 2, hope to have some better scores, overall score. And if I ran into any problems, I'll leave that with the notes. Week after week after week, if you get better at this, you're going to be an unstoppable person with an unstoppable business model. And the 2 of those things combined, like we talk about, is really, a fire waiting just to ignite. That is all we've got today for you guys. If you have any questions on an open forum like this, shoot. If you need to work with us on a private scale, by all means, whatever you guys need. Don't just sit over in the corner and wonder, why am I not getting the results? Why is the activity not producing leads? Share with the group, share with your managers, share with the people that you work around what's happening. They'll be glad to give you feedback, trust me. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Alana. You guys need to, speak out. By all means, we're here. If you want to put things on our calendar, that's really the easiest way. If you need 30 or 45 minutes to discuss something, go into one of our calendars, put it on there. It's the easiest way to get it done.
Wow, another great training by Mike Amos. Thank you so much. I learned a lot, as always. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll open up the floor for questions, comments, anything like that.